DUI firm in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Obviously, he knows his business. You need to get to know Larry Forman, and he's growing. We'll talk about that as well. Welcome to the show, Larry. How are you?
Good, John. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We had a brief conversation, man. I can see how you became #1 because you're knowledgeable, you're charismatic, you're the kind of guy I'd like to sit and talk to if I get in a situation where I need your help, right?
Well, I appreciate that. I try.
I know you do, and you've been very successful. So, a little bit of the history of your firm, because when you hear about the largest DUI firm, the #1 DUI firm, that says a lot. So tell me how you arrived at that spot.
Well, John, I started from scratch back in 2013, and let me tell you, I started with nothing. You know, some people come from like a wealthy background. I started with absolutely nothing. Debt is what I started with. And I just started building. It's all about the passion. It's about the client, you know. If you make it about the money, you will always lose. And I make it about the people, and that's why I'm doing pretty well for myself, if I may say so.
You're doing very well for yourself, and there's a reason, because your clients are happy and they get the outcomes that they wanted. So how did you become the DUI guy? I like the label DUI guy. How did that happen? Was that your idea?
That was, well, as most ideas are, John, you know, they're stolen. It was not my idea. There's about maybe 12 or 13 DUI guys, DWI mans, DWI dudes across the country, but we're not in direct competition with each other. So I'm not like a Nike or Adidas, where if I rebranded myself as that, you know, I would be sued for copyright infringement.
Right.
But because we're not competing against each other, I'm free to use that name.
All right. Larry Forman is the DUI guy. So now you're the DUI guy plus, DUI guy plus. So in other words, when I hear plus, I'm going, okay, he's adding on something here. What's the move, Larry? What are you doing?
Well, I pulled a Disney Plus, basically. I did what Disney did.
I like it.
I took the idea, again, stole. It was actually my friend Michael's idea, so I'm going to give you a little plug there, Mike, just so you know. I haven't forgotten about you. It was his idea, and he said I can use it. The plus means we now do everything, John, everything. Our 3 pillars, we capitalize on wrongful death, car accidents, and DUIs, and criminal law, essentially. But the plus also means we do everything. So if you got a problem, I'm your directory. You got a problem, you call me. Either I can help you, one of my associates can help you, one of my counsels can help you, or I know somebody at the top who can help you.
You say it's important to hire a trial lawyer. You say that's important.
Oh, yes.
Tell me why that's important. I guess I'm assuming that you want someone who is experienced if they have to get in front of a jury, and it does go to trial, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So, John, would you hire a baker that does not know how to work an oven, but knows how to prepare the dough and put the sprinkles on it and make it all nice and presentable, but does not know how to use an oven?
No.
That's what it means.
I like the analogy. That says it.
It's like to hire a lawyer that doesn't know how to do trial work. A trial attorney, because the trial is the final thing when it comes to lawyer work. And you'd be amazed how many lawyers don't go to trial, don't know how to go to trial, and it's impossible to separate the sheep from the herd. So in order to effectively litigate a case, if you don't try cases as a lawyer, you're not doing 90% of what a lawyer is meant to do. And so when a client is making their phone calls and they're looking for an attorney, your job as the client is to call and ask every lawyer, do you try cases and how often?
Wow. So if someone is in a situation, a DUI situation, they are desperate. We've all heard horror stories about what can possibly happen, and it is true. So what would you suggest? I'm going to go off script here a little bit. For someone who gets in that situation, you know, the next morning, they're, you know, oh man, my life is going to be a shambles. I'm going to lose my job. There's so many questions. What would you say to them? What's the course of action? With
respect to what, John? I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
If someone is pulled over. And
refuse everything. Refuse the tests. Don't talk to the police. Under any stretch of the imagination, people naturally want to tell the truth. They naturally want to speak their mind. They think the officer is going to let them go. Don't be scared. Get arrested. But don't politely refuse. Say, officer, I respectfully refuse. I respectfully do not wish to answer any questions. Am I being detained, or am I free to go? That's the question. And if the answer is, I'm getting the shackles on, well then by all means, go ahead, take me to the police station. I'm not answering any more of your questions. I'm not blowing into that device. You will lose your license. I'm warning you right now, but it's a small price to pay. I can get you back on the road unless you're a pilot or a CDL, commercial driver's license driver. Those 2 categories you must blow because you have a lot more at stake. You're a professional operator, those are the only exceptions.
Whew. Forman and Associates, whether I'm in trouble or not, I want to go to you because I feel your passion and your knowledge comes out. It just oozes out of you. So let's talk a little bit about what that consultation's like. If someone comes to you and says, okay, Larry, I'm in a bit of a jam here. I need your help. What kind of things do you tell them? What kind of things do you want to know from a client?
Well, I want to know, obviously, the facts. What happened, John? I mean, the facts are everything. No two cases are the same. I've been in business almost 8 years now. I have never seen two cases. I was like, yes, I had that exact case 3 years ago. I mean, similar fact patterns, sure, like asleep at the wheel, you know, in a park vehicle. I've had dozens of those. Believe it or not, you can get charged with those DUIs, too. It's incredible. Call me if you're in that situation, by the way. Do not plead guilty to those, for the love of God. Every case is different, and I want to know, obviously, the facts, and can they pay me?
Sure, I understand.
Sure.
That's honest right there. If you're going to get the best, if you're the number one, I want number one. I want the very best heart surgeon. I want the very best DUI lawyer. So I'm curious that when you meet with these people, you see a lot of desperation. You see a lot of questions. You hear a lot of people who are and should be worried, like what's going to happen to me.
Of course.
Can you put their mind at ease? Because you are a trial lawyer, because you've been through so many of these scenarios, can you help them? Because you've seen people come out with successful outcomes.
Of course.
Talk about that a little bit about, you know, hey, you can go to someone else if you want, but if you want the outcome that you desire, it better be Forman and Associates, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I tell clients, and this is, you know, we're considered counselors of law. My second job is counselor of therapy, believe it or not.
No,
not intentionally, but I do it because, well, first of all, it's essential. I can't leave the person hanging. Some lawyers play the scare tactic. You don't want to go to jail, well, you should hire me, you know, kind of thing. I don't like that. I think it's a negative game. It's a very depressing game to play. I tell the client, look, I got your back. Me and my associates, we have your back. Come to us, we'll take care of you. And I try to put my mind at ease. And John, I can't tell you how many times I've spoken to a client, and by the end of the conversation, they say, Larry, thank you so much. I don't have the money right now. I'm going to get the money, and you put my mind at ease. That's what we do, John.
Yeah, we have financial worries when something like this happens. You're worried about your job, future employment, that kind of thing, what goes on or off your record. But I would think peace of mind at that time, because you can't make decisions when you're so emotionally attached to it, and
But
rightfully
you also
so.
get what you pay for, John.
Yeah,
You got to
that's
remember
right.
that.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
experience that you offer. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why you're the DUI Guy
And I'm
Plus.
trying to clone myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time cloning yourself, brother. You've got some good energy and a wealth of knowledge. Once again, Larry Forman, there's the information on the screen there, the DUI Guy Plus. And it is so much more, which speaks to this, to me, Larry. What you've told me is it's everything. It's turnkey. Don't worry, I've got you.
Don't worry, I got you.
There we go. Maybe that's a new slogan, right?
Hey, I think we just came up with it, live on air. I
DUI
love
Guy,
that.
don't worry, I got you. All right, Larry Forman once again. Take a little bit of a break here. Hey, we're going to learn about bourbon, and these guys are they're bourbon criminals. They're bourbon what? We'll talk about that. It's a wild story next on Wayfair Listens.